My name is Sue Downey, and I am a board member for the INA. This is the end of my first year as a board member, but I've been a member of INA on and off for a long time. Um, and I have been a nanny for, I was just trying to do the math. I think I'm approaching 30 years, which is unbelievable. I have a nanny kid about to give birth to yet one more nanny grandchild. I'm like, I'm so old. But I
I
love
just
it.
became one.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Um, so I appreciate everybody being here. Just um, just a few things. Again, the event is being recorded, and we're also going live tonight on Facebook. We'll incorporate people if they want to join the conversation. We're going to try that out and see how that goes. If you're not speaking, if you could stay muted just to reduce the background noise, and then feel free to unmute yourself to ask a question or make a comment, or you can raise your hand, whatever works best for you. I also have the chat bar up so I can try to see chat comments as well. I have a couple of very good friends here with me. First is a good friend of mine and the current vice president. No, the current, I don't know, she's something on the executive board. Helen McCarthy. Helen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Who you were talking about there? I'm looking down at the names going, who's Sue going on about? Hi, I'm Helen McCarthy. It is just gone 1 a.m. here. We're drowning our sorrows. We've just lost the Euros, which was obviously quite a big deal, but we played well and, we had a young team. But yes, I'm currently the second vice president of the INA until the end of the month when I take over as co-vice president with Sue Downey.
There you go.
So we will be partners in crime.
Exactly.
Um, yes, as I say, it's 1 a.m. here, and I haven't gone into work because basically I should have been in work tonight, but the way England fans behave is not the best, and it probably wasn't too safe to drive from where I live to work, so I haven't gone in, and it just means I can actually be on this call in person and not in the dark listening in with headphones and no camera on. But yes, and yes, so you said you're doing 30 years. I celebrate 30 years this year as well. My first little ones are not little anymore, and yeah, nanny grandkids and stuff. Yeah, it does make you feel old, and I haven't hit 50 just yet. That's next year.
Um, and I also have with me in her little cap, she's doing some technical thing right now, it looks like. Marcia. Oh, there we are live on Facebook. Hello, Facebook. So I have Helen with me, who is on the executive committee, and also Marcia, who's our executive director. So she's actually an employee of the International Nanny Association. Marcia, do you want to share a little bit about what you do?
Sure. I basically run the day-to-day office. Everything that happens basically goes through me. And just as an FYI, for some reason, it wouldn't let me share it onto our Facebook member group, but it would let me share it onto um, our main Facebook page. So that's where we're sharing it. So we are
Great.
live to everybody, which I think is just fine. Not exactly sure why it wouldn't let me share it on a page, but yeah. So what Sue said is I'm the executive director. I kind of do whatever needs to get done on a day-to-day basis. So
Marcia's
if you
amazing,
talk
and
to the office, it's probably me.
yeah, exactly. Marcia's amazing and holds everything together for us, um, as well as the calendaring and a lot of the communication and just making sure everything gets done. It's a huge job, so we're grateful to have her. Um, in a minute, I'm going to introduce my friend Kim, but I wanted first to talk about, well, first of all, if you're watching this live on Facebook and you want to join in the conversation, um, I can't see the comments on Facebook right now, so you'll have to. Um,
I'll try to keep track of it, Sue,
okay,
for you and let you know
perfect,
if there's anything.
excellent, great. So if you have a question, you could put it and Marsha will feed it to us. Um, Marsha, real quick, do you want to talk about what's coming next for INA? What's next on our calendar?
Sure. Let me go ahead and do that. So this is all new. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully it won't get super weird. So everything that's happening. All right, so upcoming events. We've got lots of things happening. In the INA summer used to be like a really low key, we don't do a whole lot, and that has changed. We're doing a lot of stuff. So we have Mentorship Monday. If you are an INA member, you can join us on the INA member Facebook group on Monday, July 19th. We're going to have a big conversation, answer questions, discuss things all around our theme of the month, which is mission. There'll be questions for businesses, questions for caregivers, questions just for you and your personal life, for families, all that kind of stuff. And so it'll be a great time to talk about that. It'll go on just as a chat all day. Then we've got a professional webinar coming up on mission statements focused for businesses that want to revitalize their mission statement, or if you're, starting out and you want to make sure you have a good mission statement, you want to tune into that. Greta Schreier, who is on the INA board of directors, is going to be sharing her thoughts on that and walking us through that. And then we have exciting time, our board installation, which means that our new board members are going to be coming on, and our new executive committee will be installed on Saturday, July 31st at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to put all of the information and the links in the chat on the Zoom here, so you guys can get access to register for all this stuff. I'll also put it on the Facebook page where this is being shared live. So you can definitely check that out. Members only are allowed to come to the board meeting afterwards and sit in and listen, but you're welcome to do that. Then we have our Australian chapter meeting coming up August 12th at 7:00 p.m. AEST, so that's Australian time. So check out that. Louise has a lot of things going on with that. And then we have another professional webinar happening in August on the relationship tool every kid needs. And I think that it's also for adults too. So everybody needs this relationship tool. So check out that on August 24th. Speaking of monthly themes, we do a monthly theme now, thanks to Sue and some of the other people on the board in making this happen last year. We focus a lot of our message each month around these themes, and we would love for you to consider sharing a blog post with us, or something, sharing something having to do with this theme. Obviously, July, we talked about it being mission. In August, the conversation will be around challenging ourselves personally in our business, and just anything that, that word means to you. September is going to be planning. October is going to be connection. November will be appreciation, and we'll be doing a lot of appreciation for our members specifically, but appreciation for things in general. And then December is searching, and of course we'll update those as we go along. But we really encourage you to submit a blog. Let us know what you think about these things. We really want to hear from our members, from our community. We know that you all have a lot to share. Speaking of which, one other thing that we're going to be doing this fall is a video series called Nanny Nuggets. Last November, we put out a video that was called Noti Nuggets. So it was our past Nanny of the Year recipients giving little pieces of advice, and it went over really well. We know that so many people in our community have so many things to share. So much knowledge is out there, and we really want to provide an opportunity for everyone to be able to share their tips about being a nanny. And so we're going to open that up in September to talk about. That's all I have for you guys. Any other questions based on that, Sue?
No, I don't think so. It is important to note, just as a aside that right now our new chapters, Kate Mativijits and her team of ambassadors are putting together these chapter meetings, and it's important for you to know that right now, while they're all virtual, you can go to any chapter meeting you want. It doesn't have to be the one that's close to you. If you want to go to Australia virtually and chat with the nannies there, you can. So check out the different ones. Each chapter meeting has a short speaker presentation, as well as some just chit chat, getting to know nannies from all over the country, and agency owners and NCS. And so just know, like, Kim leads a chapter in New York, and there are a couple, there's a Cincinnati one, Ohio, I think. I can't remember all of them, but LA, yeah. So, but you don't have to belong to that community to join that chapter meeting. So that's a great thing, if you want to get to know people. Okay, next on my beautiful agenda is just, we sort of did this a little bit. Um, so my part of the INA board, what I have done for the last year is to chair a few committees. I've worked on the diversity committee with Mara and Helen and Kim and a bunch of other people. We've been trying to work on making INA stronger by being more inclusive, by changing some of our messaging, and to be more thoughtful about expanding our membership to be more representative of nannies all over the world, all over the globe, of all different colors, creeds, kinds, everything. We want everyone to feel welcome as a part of the INA. I've worked on the mentorship program. I've worked with marketing and some of that stuff. I worked on a lot of things. As a member this year, I pretty much have just been like, well, what needs to be done and how can I help get it done? If you are ever interested in the board, you can be like me, or you can be more focused on the projects that speak to you. Everybody sort of has their own experience with being on the board. The reason that I joined the board is that for many, many years, I've sort of been outspoken, but gently and kindly, about some things that were troubling to me about the INA. And I finally decided that while I felt like there were lots of things that I felt needed improvement, there were lots of good things about the INA as well. And it was time for me to be the change that I wanted to see. So I joined knowing that, I was going to advocate for the things that were important to me. And so I've done that, and hopefully I've made a positive impact. I've worked hard, and I've really enjoyed it too. It's been very satisfying for me. So the important message that I want everyone to know is, if you don't think INA is hitting the mark on something, if you feel like it could be better or whatever, being involved is the best way to make that happen. Not only do we want to hear about it, and we work to try to meet all the needs, but also we welcome people who want to be on a committee, people who want like a tiny job that could just get something done. We'd like to hear more people from our members offer their expertise for a blog post, or social media post, or a quote that's important to you, or join a committee, or be involved. So that is really my message that I'm trying to share with everyone is, we need everybody to be involved, the whole membership. Speaking of membership, I now have the great honor and privilege to highlight one of our amazing members. I met Kim Morgan when she came to a conference that I organized called Nanny Palooza, and she shared some very personal stories that were hysterically funny and heartbreakingly touching and real and authentic. And I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I need to be friends with this woman. She's like a force of nature. And I'm glad to say that we are friends now, and she continues to inspire me. And she actually was our Nanny of the Year this year. Last year. Oh yeah, last year. Now we have, I'm sorry, we have a different nanny of the year now, who is, oh,
Wendy.
I can't say her last name. Anyway, um
Kim knows how to say it really well.
Shajama.
Shahar, there you go. Sorry, Wendy. You know I love you. Um, but I'm very pleased to introduce you all to Kim Morgan and ask Kim to just tell a little bit about your experience in the industry and your experience with INA.
Good night, everyone. My name is Kim Morgan, the former INA's 2020 Nanny of the Year. I've been a nanny for 21 years, to be exact, July 6th of this year, working as a professional nanny primarily with first-time parents and newborns. During my course of that time, I was always innately attuned with other ways that I can be of help to my parents, because most of the time I got the babies either straight out of the hospital or like at 3-4 months of age. So I always find other ways that I can be of assistance to them. So for the past couple of years, I've been really investing in myself. I've taken professional development courses in sleep, in newborn care, and as a new parent educator. I'm a certified newborn care specialist through CASH and also through the Newborn Care Specialist Association. Last year was the highlight of my year, like winning Noti. I've also gotten my highest paid contract last year, but I always find that something was missing. I wanted more. I could do more, you know. So this year, when the opportunity presented itself, after having surgery, I switched over to newborn care specialist, and it has been simply amazing. I know everyone in this industry always say, as a nanny switching to a newborn care specialist, your first year is always your hardest. And there are tremendous amount of people that I looked up to in this newborn care specialist industry. But for me, it was Chevelle Frederick that gave me that little push. You know, I'm in the Newborn Care Solutions Elite program. So I'm an Elite Year 2. And last year I was an Elite Year 1. And at our retreat, we had like a welcome night and we were just talking. And I said, it's always hard when you make the transition as a nanny, because no one wants to take the chance on you to give you that opportunity because you're new and you don't have that experience. And especially like in New York, where the market is saturated, but not one that values in terms of a worth in paying that, like not like LA or Denver or even Arizona, where you would have like that mentor that will shadow you. But I'm grateful for a student group where you can ask questions and they would be answered, like mentors like Marley, Nanny Marley or Stephanie Hudgens, you know, Jill Harris. There's a number of them. So I look up to all of these ladies in the industry. But it was at last year's retreat when I spoke about that, and Chevelle was like, you're already doing the work, just not in the capacity, you know. And I left retreat with a yawning that I know I had to fill. So when I came back, it kind of sat on my conscience, you know, like it's always there, like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Now is the time that I have to do this. And I reached out to Stacy Wooden and she helped me set up my LLC. Like I had my business name, my logo, everything for years, but I just never did anything with it. And she's like, I never set up an LLC in New York. So I said, well, okay, this is going to be your first. We're going to do this together. We're going to write this out together, you know. And she guided me along every step of the way. She was so very helpful and instrumental in that. And it just took off, you know. The very same day my employer and I agreed to part ways, It was the very same day I signed my first contract. And it just went on gradually after that. I'm up to my sixth client now. I'm in talks with two more. My biggest contract, I would be leaving at the ending of November to go to Texas for 3 months. And they actually found me through the Newborn Care Solutions website.
So it sounds like some big relationships that have helped you have come out of the INA and
off of the
your connections.
INA, and I'm so grateful for that. Which I've only been a member for 3 years, and to network, and that's one of the things I really like about the INA and being in this industry is the networking, the connections that are formed. Because I always say to my nannies here in New York and those that I come in contact with, you have to form those connections. They're very important because you never know where they're going to lead. You may not need them now, but trust me, somewhere along the line in your career, you're going to say, okay, I remember this person said that. Let me reach out to this person for guidance. And it's been amazing.
That's amazing. Well, that's very exciting. And it leads us to our topic because you certainly felt like you had a calling, it sounds like.
Yes,
and
a mission. Yes, that was a mission.
Exactly. So let me ask you, what benefits do you have from having sort of a mission as a nanny or an NCS? Like, how does it help you to sort of have a mission?
So for me, like I said, was recognizing what my niche was, which was working primarily with first-time parents. And it just took off from there. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to educate, not only in the baby sector of helping them and teaching them how to raise their child, but also educated on the best practices of how to care for their children. And I mean, just the feeling that I get in changing lives, that's a passion. And it started for me really when I was told it wasn't possible for me to have kids. And when I had gave birth for my first, I almost died. So for me, it started from there, that I knew my part was working with children. Like, I'm a certified professional coder, and sitting behind a desk is not for me. You know, like, I did it at South Nassau Hospital for almost 3 years. And I'm like, this is not where I wanted to be. Something is missing. But I really solidified that for me when I literally begged to hold my child at birth because I was being rushed off into surgery. And I'm like, I'm not sure I'm coming back out, you know? So this is the least that you can help me to accomplish, is let me see what his face looked like. And there's so many moms out there that struggles. I've had miscarriages after my first. I'm truly blessed to have a second, because I suffered with endometriosis, and that's a condition a lot, primarily Black women, suffers with, and a lot are not aware of it because they don't seek help. And for me, it was 19 years too much. And I made the decision earlier this year to have a hysterectomy. And I know some moms, some women are not fortunate to have kids. And those that are, like, I feel like it is my purpose to educate them in their postpartum phase.
So your mission came out of your personal experiences,
yes,
and now has helped you along this trajectory from being a nanny to working with new parents and to this business success. Like, it's the mission, your personal experiences come through. I'd be super interested if anyone wants to share. Feel free to unmute yourself and let me know if you have a personal mission statement as a nanny or as a business owner or as just a person, your personal mission. Please feel free to share and share how it helps you. I know for myself, my my mission was a little more thought out. As I entered into this career, it was sort of an accident. and I didn't really find my footing until a few years into it, when I realized um, that I wasn't even the nanny that I wanted to be. And so once I started working on myself, I found that there were lots of other nannies that were disconnected. It was before the internet. That's how long ago it was. But just finding ways to connect nannies and um, to really give other nannies support so that they could be the kind of nannies they wanted to be. That really helped me not just be a better nanny, because you challenge yourself, but also it helped me create things like Nanny Palooza and other training opportunities for nannies, helped me with community, and then has led me all the way through. So um, having that kind of passion for something helps you through the bad days, right? Because there are bad days.
Just put a baby in my hand. That's how I look. And everything just disappears for that 10-12 hours that I'm there. Like, I forget. And trust me, I had my share, and it was a nanny family that came through for me at the lowest point in my life, and I've shared this. At first it was hard for me to talk about it, so it was just my close family circle who was aware of it. But now I'm more open, because I know one lady actually reached out, and she said from me speaking about that, it kind of helped her process her own situation. And like, those that are really close to me know the full story, but my kid's father walked out when I was 8 months pregnant with my second. And at that time, because with my first, I was fired from my job. Like, being told that you couldn't have kids and suddenly finding out that you're pregnant is like, I kept it a secret. Not even my mom knew, not my grandmother knew. They never knew until I was 7 months pregnant, when the doctor actually wanted to take the baby. Then I was asked to get rid of the baby, because they feel that it would have been detrimental to my life, which in the end, it almost happened. But my mom never knew, because I know my family was always happy. They wanted that grandchild. I was the only grandchild for 10 years. So my grandmother wanted that great grand, and I didn't want to break their hearts. I kept it a secret. And the day while I was work, I started spotting, and I thought I was losing the baby, and I freaked out and I started to cry. And that's when I told my employer that I need to go to the hospital, and because I might be losing the baby. And she kind of looked at me like, she was shocked. And it was a Jewish family, and those were not the values they were trying to instill in their child at the time, because everybody know the Jewish culture. They're a very close-knitted family. Like, I've admired that with working with them over the years, but they have values that they were instilling in their child, that marriage first. My culture, we don't care about getting married before having a kid. So I respected that. And they said, unfortunately, they'll have to let me go, which in the end, I would not have been able to continue working for them because of the complications that I was having. So I was on bed rest for the remainder of my pregnancy. But I was fired. So you must imagine my worry when I found out I was pregnant with my second, and my employer had literally just told me they were expecting number 2 weeks prior. So I was freaking out in my mind. And I'm like, I said, I do need to have a conversation with you guys. And when I told them, they said, I thought you were going to tell us you have cancer and you can no longer work for us. She said, Kim, having a baby is a blessing in disguise, and what you went through with the first and are blessed to have a second, we are going to support you wholeheartedly. Whatever time you need, we are going to give that to you. If we have to hire temporary help, we're going to do that, because we know who we have, and they eventually did the temporary help for 6 months until I came back. And when she found out that I was doing this on my own, they stepped up in a whole new way that I never anticipated an employer. Like every time I talk about it, I get emotional. I kind of wrote it in a blog for the INA, but I could only put so much inside it because I can't release too much information because of their confidentiality. But every time I talk about it, I tear it up because they stepped up in a really big way to this very day for both me and my kids.
Well, and that contributes to your mission of paying it forward.
Yes, it
So,
does.
what about the rest of you? I know some of you probably have mission statements or a mission. Um, do any of you have it written down or on a website, or do you want to share?
I
It's
can
them.
share.
Oh, yes.
Well, I started off my career as a back in 1991, straight out of nanny school with my NNEB, and yeah, thought everything, know nothing, and you say before the days of the internet, it was a quick call to my mum on a landline, not on a mobile, but 2014, spring forward to then, I met Sue, basically because I saw Nanny Palooza advertised on Facebook and came across, and yeah, I'd worked in the States. We'd lived down in Florida for 3 years, never found Nanny Palooza, never found the INA, didn't know anything about them. So it does prove that you can be in America and not even find these things. But I come back to England and I find Sue. Went to Nanny Palooza, made some really good friends, and everything, and they told me about the INA, and I sort of got told by Sue and by a couple of others, go for the Nanny of the Year. So I did, like him, and in 2016 that changed my life. I became the International Nanny of the Year, and I have been all over the world. I had been all over the world anyway, but I looked at what we have in the UK now. You think we're the home of the nannies. Well, yeah, we are, but we're not. You have far more over there in the US than we do here. So I did Nanny Palooza with Sue. She kindly came over to the UK. And from that, the Great British Nanny Conference sprung up, and so did UK Nanny. And the mission statement of UK Nanny is, together, nannies are stronger. Because really we are together as a whole being, and we now have our conference, we join in for International Nanny Training Day, we celebrate Nanny Recognition Week because we don't have anything like this. So yeah, I come over, stolen all the ideas. The one thing we do have that is slightly different is I actually have a full awards ceremony every year now, and we'll be in our 3rd year in September, and we celebrate everything within the nanny industry, which is from the payroll companies to our insurance companies to the music classes to the best library class, the first aid courses we've introduced this year, the most outstanding person during COVID, as well as our own nanny, UK Nanny of the Year. And we certainly don't call them Noti over here, we just call them the UK Nanny of the Year. But we try and develop that and everything. So yes, our mission is together nannies are stronger, because I believe we are. If we all stand together, we can be united.
For sure. That's awesome. You steal ideas, but you've shared a lot of ideas too. Hi Mara, how are you?
There. Yes, I would like to share, taking the ride on what Helen said, that she left a nanny school and started to work as a nanny, coming from Brazil. And thank you for your for the efforts of INA to do just 100 translations, the exam that can really elevate the nanny career. In Brazil, I worked as a teacher, so I have this background in education. But once there, and I think that in many Latin countries, we don't have nanny is not actually a job. It's just people that don't have any education. I compare this as a reminiscence of slavery, that domestic service is still serving because you don't have on good education. And so for me, working as a nanny, actually my first baby next week celebrating her 18th birthday, and we are going to the family to celebrate this remarkable date. I'm still in contact with the family. They are adorable. And so my mission statement, without knowing, is to support the family to uh, raise a kid. And mostly for me and my case, when I became a nanny, without knowing that it could be a real job, that I was so happy when I met INA, that I discovered that I had a real job that satisfied me very much. I was working for Lauren's mama, that was a very high end on financial field industry, uh, very high level executive, and she would work 10 hours a day. So I had my 12 hours of day regularly. And for me is to support a woman that can um, progress in her career as a professional. And so when I can do that is an extra bonus for me. So my mission statement, not only to support the family to raise their kids, but to support a woman, be her partner, in order that she can keep her job and develop that without, like we saw last year with COVID, that mostly the women had to go back to work, and was so heartbreaking for me that we don't have this that support the woman that wants to keep her profession, that she can do that fully without any detriment or guilty even, that she has a good care, a partner that can really do whatever she wants as a mom for her child, for her family. So that's my mission.
That's a
Thank you.
great mission. Well, and that I love that. I think sometimes we forget that, and the domestic workers organization talks about that a lot, and I admire that they use that message that domestic work is the work that allows all other work, right? So it really is important when we talk about our mission to think about that as well, that being consistently showing up and caring for these families and supporting these moms and dads allows so many other things. We're the base of the pyramid, right? That
Yes.
really holds up all of the other things. So that's beautiful. That's a good point. Anybody else have a mission that they want to share, or how their mission has affected their life, or any advice for anybody on creating a mission statement, even? Just come on and join in. I would call on people, but I hate when they do that. But I want to call on people, but I won't. Um, I think that another thing for me is that at the core, at the core of it, for me, and I would challenge people to think about this too. Is, we a lot of things that I do are for other nannies. A lot of the things that the INA does are for nannies and businesses and everything. But really, when you boil it all down, for us, it's supporting other women, supporting other men in the work that they want to do. But the real base of it is quality care. Every single child deserves to have a quality caregiver, somebody who takes care of them, who loves them, who knows developmental levels, who knows developmentally appropriate practices and all of that. And so whenever I think about my mission, I try to always remember the faces of the kids that I've come in contact with, whether I've been their nanny or a friend or an aunt or whatever. We really are raising the next generation. Um, and that's the generation that's going to change the world. I always believe that. A few years ago, I got obsessed with this Tupac Shakur quote where basically he said, I don't want to be the person that changes the world. I want to be the person that inspires somebody to change the world. Um, which I think is very much a part of a nanny mission, a mission of an agency. You know, if you're an agency owner, making sure that you're hiring nannies that inspire kids and that know about kids and that support families. If you're a parent, you're inspiring your own children and working with them. If you're a nanny, it's day in, day out teaching the skills that are going to make a difference, because the next generation is always the more important generation, right? Um, at least that's how I look at it. All right. No more conversation. But if you think of something else, I do want to talk. If you're a business member, and I see a few of you on here are, whether you're an agency or even just an NCS, Greta Schreier is doing that webinar at the end of this month or in a couple weeks. The date's in the chat, or it's on our website as well. And she has an agency called Cincy Nannies that grew out of a mission that she had. She started gathering nannies together to provide support for each other when she was a nanny, and her mission drives her business. And you can see it, and her values and what she thinks is important. And she's going to do a great webinar if you have a chance to register for it. If you don't get to see it live because it's during the day, you can watch it on the replay. And if you have any interest in tweaking your mission statement, or you don't have one and you want to develop one, or you even want to just reevaluate your values and how that relates to the work that you do, and your mission, I would really encourage you. It's going to be on July 21st, Wednesday, July 21st. So I would really encourage you. Greta's very inspiring to me, in so many ways. So I want to open it up for a few minutes. Does anybody have any questions about what's going on with INA, complaints that you want me to like pass on, anything at all that you want to say, or maybe you just have something happy that you want to tell us that happened to you this month? Give it to me. I'm open for business. As Lucy, do people even know peanuts anymore? Jeanette, tell me something good.
Oh, it's a question.
Yeah.
Has anything been decided yet about the conference for next year?
That is a good question. Nothing has been decided yet. However, we've honed in on a city. We don't have the contracts yet. The hotel business right now is a little in flux. So, as you can imagine, it's a little bit more complicated than it would normally be. My best guess, and Marcia, if you want to chime in on this view, is that we will have an answer by the end of the summer as to what the dates and the location will be, and then we'll fill in the blanks from that. But you can be sure that it's going to be in the spring. It's going to be West Coast, or Western US, not coast, Western US location.
Pacific time zone, basically.
Yeah.
We're looking at, yeah.
And like always, we'll be doing our best to make it fun and informative and all of that. But we're a little behind the timeline because there's been so much uncertainty.
Well, so many people in the hotel business lost their jobs, honestly, because there wasn't anything happening. So all of the people that we would normally deal with to do the site selection, to do the scouting, all that kind of stuff, they don't have jobs there anymore, or they have limited hours. And so it's just been, and travel has been tricky just in general too. So it definitely has been. I mean, I know that Nanny Palooza and APNA and some of the other organizations this year sort of like went with what they had the last year. We're reinventing it. So you guys already had your connections of who you were working with. We're starting those connections over again because we can't do that. So it's just, that's why it's been a little bit trickier. The timeline will probably be about the same. We'll announce, my hope, like Sue, my hope is in August. By the end of August, we'll be announcing the dates and the location, and then opening all of the stuff up. You know what I mean? Workshop proposals, all that stuff. It'll be a short timeline to get that stuff all together for us this year, because we still hope to like open registration in November, all those things that we normally do. but it's just, a holdover from COVID is, that industry was in so many ways just decimated. Like it's a different, they've just been flipped on their head. They're trying to figure out what to do still in so many ways. So
The good news is that we definitely are gonna, I'm sure that we're gonna push really hard to get everything to everyone with plenty of time to make travel arrangements and things like that. So um yeah, I'm hopeful. I think we'll be able to do it. So it's a good question. I'm glad you're looking forward to it.
Missed it the last 2 years.
Yeah. No, well, and everybody is really looking forward to being together in the same space, but we also have to be careful about that because we don't know what's coming. So that also is a little bit of a consideration in how much space we book and all these things. It's it's definitely more complicated for the next couple of years. I think it's going to be like that. So, good question. All right, who
Thank
else? Can I answer any other questions with we don't know yet? We're working on it. Uh, well, if nobody has anything else, then I'm happy to close it. Feel free always to send us an email, message us on Facebook. If you have questions, we try to answer them if we have the information. If we don't, we'll let you know. Um, I want to say thanks to everybody for giving up some of their Sunday evening to think about mission with us and to get caught up with us, and encourage you every month to check out the conversations we have. I'm thrilled that people show up every time. It's very exciting to me. And come and join us. Sit on a committee, have some fun. Uh, Whatever you want to do. It's always a good time if I'm involved. So I'm just saying. Just kidding. I say that, and some of you don't know me, so you don't know that I'm just joking around. But some of you do. So, thank you very much, everyone, and have a great week.